Ask yourself why some of these groups have been persecuted and attacked by the church physically, literally. Their culture, their civilization, their way of life destroyed. And we have an archetypal, we have a dominant way of seeing our relationship to this creator, this God. And in terms of Western religion, for the most part, has been a male God. Again, an angry, dominating male God that will punish his children, that will order executions of people in entire cities. And we are looking at the possibility that some of this has been a fraud by design to turn us away from, as some have said, a God or a creator that is in fact feminine in its nature. A goddess, or Sophia, as the Gnostics referred to her. And there's a YouTube channel that I've been watching, I believe it's Star Gods, and he talks about this in great length. And what I find fascinating about this idea is that we are now living in a world where so many aspects of the divine feminine energy is oppressed. And it's not being oppressed by solely men. I have seen women suppress not only their own divine feminine energy, but the divine feminine energy of other women. Women suppressing other women. That is the ultimate darkness, and that is what we face. What I'm saying to you is, you are not living in a system that is just run by men. You are living on a planet where things are manufactured, things are planned well in advance on the timeline. And as much as you might want to apply the law of attraction to change events out there in the world, you should be focused on yourself and your own personal evolution. I don't mean be selfish, but I mean keep focused on the ultimate reality, is that you are in control of your life, of the way that you interpret reality, and ultimately you are here to evolve. You are not here to devolve or fall into the abyss or become a zombie or become some sort of a DNA-altered transhumanistic freak. That is the world that they are trying to create. This is why you see these movies being introduced to us on the Sci-Fi Channel and others. This transhumanistic reality. The Borg is here. The Archons, the Terminators, the robots rule the earth. And to a certain degree, there is truth in these films. And I think they're oftentimes metaphors for things happening in another dimension. They could also be part of the collective memory we have. That author, that filmmaker, that scriptwriter, in a way, maybe tapping into the what's called the Akashic records, and through the collective consciousness, putting it back down on paper and showing people what's inside their mind. Art imitating life. Art imitating what's on the timeline, past, present, and potential future realities. But despite the holographic projection that they show us, the world that they want, you know, a depopulated one, a world where there's different humans on the earth, clones likely, where their souls are being manipulated, even sucked from their bodies, so they can sit there and live through us. That's the reality that they want to create, and we must be aware of it, because it doesn't mean it has to be incorporated into our reality. So I'm saying to you, by investigating these Archons, by thinking about some of these films you've seen, you're seeing a metaphor, you're seeing another story for what's actually happening now around us. The Archons, by the way, are described as inorganic, emotionless robots, drones, and they are working on behalf of Lucifer. They are working on behalf of the devil, of Satan, whatever term you have, El Diablo. And it's been described that the Greys and the Reptilians are working on behalf of the Archons. Because they are of a physical state to where they can come into Earth, whereas the Archons cannot come into Earth. So it's very possible they have been using other groups to do their bidding. So I'm going to talk about this more in the future in other videos. And I'll incorporate slides and perhaps some video clips and give you more of an accurate overview of the Gnostic texts, and also get more specific into some of these mythologies of the ancient past as to how we were actually created. But I want to kind of wrap this up and close with where I'm going with all this and why I'm introducing this school of thought to people that have never heard about this. It is clear there's something wrong on the earth right now. It is clear that our world is in chaos. It is clear that man and woman have been divided and their minds are somehow infected by this parasitic force that appears to be very jealous of humanity, of the gifts that we have, of the soul essence that we have. I mean, I can feel a certain energy frequency in my body just being human, and that's something that other forces of darkness that are stuck in this their own time-space reality. As it's said in They Live, they are feeding on us. They believe they're our owners. We are cattle to them. We are fuel to them. And whether you're looking at the Bible or you're looking at some of the so-called New Age metaphysical texts, I have something to say about that in a moment, and other theologies and esoteric beliefs throughout the world, you see this similar theme and description of why demons are here, how they operate, how they interface by deception. And trust me, these groups don't want to be talked about. These groups, and of course those that they control, their minions, the humans on earth that are possessed by their power and influence. They're running all these programs down here on earth that are designed to shut down people and demonize people that dare question these things. And the truth is, most of you have been abused by the church. And you've turned away from God by design, or the real higher teachings, because you've been given the false teachings. And that's their strategy. To get to you when you're young, and to get to your parents. Your parents put you through their system. So you even turn away from your parents. It's all about dividing us from ourselves, our higher selves, and the higher forces of good that are watching over us. Because by learning about these evil things taking place on the earth, when you wake up to the reality that perhaps we're being tested, then you see that there's control over control. That despite the fact they're building a surveillance society, that they have the potential to stage World War III, they have their agents in Russia, they have their agents in China, they have their agents in the United States. The shadow government concept is real. There are no nations. It's already gone. They've already built their new world order. We are being given a false script in this artificial construct as to how they're moving this way and that way as they jockey for who's going to control the new world order. It's bullshit. And those people that don't see this reality aren't working with all the accurate pieces of information. They're working with disinformation, and they're lying to you intentionally by getting you to feed into it. Oh, the U.S. is doing this and China's doing this. They are working together in tandem to trick man into another conflict, and I believe it's going to happen in 8 years from now, in the year 2020. And so you're talking about a manufactured battle of Armageddon. These forces of darkness have taken the Bible and they are manipulating events in real time on earth, so people go, that's it, these are the end times. Which for a lot of people does not catapult someone to a higher state of consciousness. It takes them to a place where they go, well, I don't have to do anything. There are things like Project Bluebeam, which are already happening. It's the concept of the fake extraterrestrial invasion. And you see these ships in the sky, physical ones, mind you, and these flying triangles, and these orbs. And I believe that these extraterrestrials that have been on Earth for a very long time, the ones that are earthbound, that are stuck here, not all powerful, but ones that have bases in the oceans, bases underground, bases in the mountains, and other places, they are creating this fake alien invasion. It's being unraveled incrementally to the people for some reason they are interested in incrementally revealing themselves to the people as our creators. You see evidence of this on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens, which there's truth mixed in with disinformation. I've watched the shows. They're interesting. They're well produced. They're disturbing. When at the end of the day, at the end of the show, they talk about these fallen gods or angels as good guys because of all that they brought us. So what are they preparing us for? Whatever's going on here. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of different groups, alien groups on Earth. Some of them may truly be battling for power. And some of the UFOs that are coming in may be genuine acts of God or good guys coming through and revealing themselves to the dark ones, reminding them there is control over control. You do not own this earth. Despite the technology you have and the deals you've made with the human populations in China, Russia, the US, and other countries, giving these countries advanced technologies and making deals with the heads of these governments so the aliens can abduct people and continue their cloning operations on the moon and elsewhere and things on Mars. Ultimately, there is control over control, and this control group, the controllers, the Archons, something's going on here to where they think they have to speed this up and speed this up and speed up what they've been doing because in their minds, they're running out of time. Something's happening. Now, I don't know how this relates to 2012, other than the fact that we are going through a major shift in energy on the Earth. And there's different ways that these solar flares, the solar maximum cycle, brings war to Earth, affects the energy of the Earth, and perhaps in positive ways and negative ways affects these beings that are in control of the what we call the government. Now, there are videos all over YouTube of flying saucers going in and out of the sun. This is not just something that someone photoshopped together. These are SOHO satellite videos of objects moving slower than asteroids, going in and out of the sun, including some videos of crafts hovering just outside the sun, connecting up with the sun what looks like some umbilical cord. And so there's something about the energy changes that are taking place now, perhaps with the sun and other celestial changes, that is accelerating this, what some people call the awakening, the shift in consciousness, also known as the quickening. Now, Tom Horn has written a book called Apollyon Rising 2012. And in this book, he hypothesizes that the founding fathers, the Freemasons at the time, had engraved a coded message in the Great Seal of the United States, these Bach-tune cycles, 13 of them, and their own coded message in this Great Seal. These Bach-tunes run from 1776 to the last one, the last capstone, being at 2012. You know, so yeah, as you go up the pyramid, the amount of time is less and less and less and less until the last cycle is like 11 to 13 years. I believe running from 1999 or 1998 to 2012, 2013 time frame. So he's hypothesizing that they are awaiting, as far back as then, we're setting this new Atlantis forward to greet forth in the 2012 time frame, Apollyon. And Apollyon, in the Bible, Apollyon is Satan, is Lucifer. Apollyon is not a good guy. And, you know, you sometimes come across these mythologies where the wicked deeds of these deities are not fully disclosed, but you find other mythological stories that describe, you know, beings like Zeus and other ones, and got very detailed into how lustful they were, how they rape people, how they were manipulating